I mean, I'm having a good time. I
Yeah.
think my best part is my favorite part about this is we recorded so many times this weekend.
Yes.
I was like, oh, like I'm learning how to do this. It's
Right.
weird. The first time this was like right up in front of me, this mic, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like it being here.
Yeah.
I'm getting in the way of you. And oh, can you move? Like whenever yesterday when you're like, and I was like, this thing is.
Movable.
But yeah. Anyways, we're
Yes.
live,
We're live.
and this is what I was thinking about whenever we were first talking. I know what your name is. Do you want
Yeah.
me to say your name?
Sure, let's practice.
No, it's not practicing. This is all going to be on there.
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious what you would want to hear if you were listening to this video online. Would you want me to be like, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Felisha Novan, the best artist in the world"?
I would want to hear that. To be
Is it
on
because it's you?
like no, I want to hear how you say someone's name because it tells me kind of like a little bit about what you think about them.
Well, if I was to be like entirely transparent, I'm like, "Hey, lady,
Hi
my
you.
wife," or I'd actually call you, "Hey, mom," because that's what I call you nowadays, which is
Yes.
weird because you're not my mom. But
It's fun though.
do you get weirded out by that?
Uh,
I've never asked you that.
Let me see. Not really. I thought when I before I got married and had a child, I thought it would be weird if my child called me Felicia or if you called me mom. But now that we kind of live it and it's interchangeable, I actually don't mind if he calls me Felicia, or my son, because he calls me mommy most of the time, and I don't mind if sometimes you call me mom. It's cute.
To
It
be honest, the
Yeah.
reason why I did it was because you were. It was about 1.5 when he started really kind of talking. I think it was at
Yeah.
1.5. He was saying stuff,
Uh-huh.
and he kept calling you Felicia. You're like, no, I'm mom. I'm mom. And so
Yeah.
I just started calling you mom because I
Uh-huh.
knew where he was getting it from.
Yeah.
So I just called you mom so you could get that because he went
I
to
did.
dad ASAP.
He did, and I really wanted to be called mommy, and he did. He started calling me mommy, and that made me very happy. But now that Roman is older, he's 4 years old, and he's definitely has a very strong his own personality. Uh, Sometimes I think it's cute that he'll call me Felicia because you call me Felicia sometimes, and
Remember that?
then yes, I remember where you would call me wife, and then Roman called me wife.
He'd be at like HEB. He'd be like,
Yes.
why? And you'd be
Yes.
like thinking that I said it. You're like, why are
Yes.
you saying it?
No, so you're right. I still want him to call me mommy. But when
But I'm just
thing
saying, that's why I called you mom.
yeah.
That was the reason why. You were so
Yeah.
sad because he was like, Alicia. Like,
Yes.
no, no,
No,
I'm not
I'm
that. I
yeah.
am mom. I've worked 30
Very,
years.
very hard for that title. Yes.
Yeah, you didn't want to be called doctor, just mom.
His mom. Yeah.
But yeah. So, um, I don't know if I want to talk about your art or your art class. What would you want to talk about?
The art came first. So, I guess kind of how I got into art and
Yeah.
then started calling myself an artist finally.
Yeah, like what's the thing that got you into art? One thing that might be a little bit strange is that we've had a lot of these conversations, and I
Mhm.
don't want you to think you have to like dig deeper and deeper. Like
Yeah.
to be not because I already know it, or don't think don't placate me and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna say this to you because you need
Yeah.
this." I,
Mhm.
I think one of the things I've learned about this, and I think this is probably gonna be the hardest interview for me, is because I know you so well.
Mhm.
And the first time we tried this, I interrupted you many times because
Yeah.
I knew it. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes whenever I'm talking to you, I need to pay more attention to you. I've learned a lot about that as we started doing all the mic tests and things like that. I
Yeah.
was like, I actually like just being able to stare at you and talk
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
listen now.
And that's why I've started to really like the podcast cuz
So I'm listening to you finally.
well, and we're finally like looking at each other cuz usually we're talking and working,
Oh
and
yeah.
now I can just look at you like and it's so romantic. It reminds me how romantic dating was.
So weird that isn't it weird that before we got married, I would love it if you said that to me. I thought literally I have a dog licking my fingers right now.
Uh-huh.
I, but yeah, I was thinking about it, about what I want to hear from you, and I realized maybe I should just start with some like just basic questions.
Mhm.
What's your medium?
Uh, acrylic. Acrylic paint. And I like it. It's my favorite one because it's cheap, and second, it's the one I've practiced the most. Hi, Molly. I've practiced acrylic paint the most, and finally, the last one is actually my artistic expression. I personally like acrylic because it's very bright colors. And that puts a lot of people off because it looks childish. But I always loved making my art slightly more colorful than it is in real life. So that's another reason why because I've tried other mediums, watercolor, graphite, oil, oil paint for a while.
I like your oil painting.
Thank you. Oil is, I would say, it's more professional.
It is.
Yeah, it
Well, it
is.
looks more professional, and I don't
Yeah,
mean that because I knew it was even oil paint. I just thought,
yeah,
like your chicken crossing the road.
yeah.
I think that's my favorite.
I might go back to oil eventually, but right now I have a very young toddler that's around me all the time. So acrylic paint is definitely cheaper and easier to clean.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your glue paint.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's great. Actually, not
Yeah.
even because it's better than oil. One of
Mhm.
the things that I've been looking at as I've been thinking about people who I'd like to talk to
Mhm.
and them reaching out to me was
Yeah.
realizing it's just what's in your head.
Yeah.
And, uh, the recent thing you got into was painting gourds or birdhouse
Yeah.
gourds.
Birdhouse gourds.
How are you going to be able to do that with professional oil
I I have seen it done. I researched a lot before I started doing it, and there are people who
paint? Oh, really?
do all sorts of methods. I've seen people with leather dye, but also with like oil splotches. It's really cool. You can do a lot with gourds. People even add modeling clay, to add little effects on their gourds. If you're making it especially look like an animal, like cat ears or noses, which is adorable.
Okay. Well, then
I've
I'm
gotten
wrong.
really into
I'm
it.
wrong.
But I just use acrylic, because it sticks really well.
Toddler friendly.
Yes.
Gotcha. And honestly, like one of the things that I see about the way you work on things
Mhm.
is you want to be able to copy or you want to be able to do something that Roman can kind of copy.
Yeah, because I love art, but I never had that urge to do it alone. I liked doing it with other people. So anything that needed me to be like alone, like that image of the intense artist, I always, I never liked that. I guess just as a thought. So
No,
now that the person around me most is a toddler, I make all my art toddler friendly as much as possible.
yeah, and being a full time mom, whenever I saw you
Yeah,
do that, I knew one of the main things you wanted to do
yeah,
was make sure that you spent quality time and you made this person feel that, hey, like I'm I'm worth being around. And
yeah,
so I'm in
yeah,
some ways I wish that we would have switched
yeah.
because he's a lot like me,
Yes, he
but
is.
he's a lot like me. Like I'm like a dwarf. Like leave me alone. And I've been trying to
Hmm.
adopt your way because that dwarf mentality is good for making art. It's good for
Masterpieces.
yeah, but it's terrible for community.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah,
terrible. It's just so much harder to accomplish.
yeah.
You have to get extremely good at it to the point where basically everyone becomes your rival, and you think that way. But for
Yeah.
yours, it's yeah, like that's where I'm curious. Have you always been like that, working with a group? Because for
Um.
me,
Mhm.
what you've told me was you were going to UTSA to
Mhm.
become a civil engineer,
Yes.
and while you were doing that, you were working a job,
Mhm.
and while you're working a job, you're taking care of your grandma, and
Yeah.
then and from that whole, I'm guessing this huge stress that you've had in your life during
Mhm.
that period, art was your outlet, and so someone
Yeah.
invited you. Well, someone asked if you wanted to join an art class, and you paid like how much?
I think I think it was $50 a class. But,
Yeah.
it was a while ago. I've forgotten the exact amount. For me at the time, it was totally worth it. It was, it was it was great because, prior to that, you're right, and from a very young age, engineer was like the path, that I was on. So, I loved art though. From as early as I can remember, I did a lot of art even when I had to do it alone, which I felt lonely doing. Uh, but art was always like considered a hobby. It was encouraged as something you did to alleviate stress. Um, and that's what it was my whole educational career. Finally, I got to college and I was doing engineering, and I had my own time and my own money finally. But I still was in that mindset of I'm going to become an engineer and go to school and study and work and be a caregiver so many hours a day. And I guiltily paid for a class for I think it was 3 hours once a week, as an outlet. And what I discovered was an amazing community. I discovered um, a whole world I didn't know existed before, and it was great. I met new people,
Yeah.
such a variety of people, and all different ages too.
But how is it mind blowing? Because for me, you were,
Mhm.
you're going to class, you're going to work.
Yeah.
There must be, you must have found people there that you found amazing. What was it about the art class that attracted you? Where like every other place, that was all going to get you money and recognition.
Mhm.
Did you feel like you're getting? There doesn't seem to be a reason to do that art class with this other
Yeah.
projection you're going in life. So why
Mhm.
why force yourself into this guilt? Like, well, you said
Mhm.
amazing, but it must have been like a different amazing.
First it was admiration because I was living such a stressful life, and not just me. Engineering is a very intense uh, school. I went to UTSA, UTSA Engineering School, and they put you through a lot. I used to joke that it was hazing, and they definitely had some ritual methods, the professors, and it was good. I feel like it produced good engineers, but as students, with me and my fellow students, we were under this pressure cooker, and we were all going through it together, and that's great. But just with each other, and to be honest, there weren't that many mentors. You have your professors, of course, but with engineering, you know, the people a little bit ahead of you, they're either engineers in training or they're professional engineers. And that ladder, that pressure cooker, never seems to end. So, like, when you're looking for an example of, like, okay, that person made it,
Hmm.
there's never an end to that pressure cooker for the engineering field. It's more and higher, and so when I looked and I was trying to find, like, how do I succeed? I I was looking for, I guess, resilience. And it's there. I know people succeed.
I'm not
But
hearing
but
any
but
admiration.
there was something missing. Something I was looking for I couldn't find. And when I went to this art class with these other art students and also professional artists, um they had something I was looking for, something I wanted in myself, which was they didn't know the answers. They were also doing something that they weren't good at. They were never satisfied about. There was always something new to learn, some new example, um, something to achieve, because they were going after, like, what is my style? What is my masterpiece? Like, I have something in my head and I can't get it out. and it was all those things that was there with engineering. But what they what they had to do was find a resilience and a dedication, an inspiration, motivation, all of that, and they were finding it. I saw people go from like the very beginnings of an artist, like just putting paint, learning brush techniques, until finally they got their own style. And when I mean style, it's how you recognize one artist out of a million. It looks I always compare it to handwriting. You can recognize someone's handwriting in an instant. You know it's theirs. And you can see that in brushstrokes, someone's final piece.
Mm.
And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And of course, an artist is never satisfied.
But
Hmm.
I guess I'm still having trouble because it seems like they're both under pressure cooking,
Hmm.
engineering and artistry. But did you like them both equally? I see. It seems to me like you like the artist part more. Like, what is the difference? Because I hear maybe, hopefully, I didn't miss it, but
Yeah,
I hear admiration when I heard you talk about your art class,
yeah,
and then when I heard about you talk about engineering, I'm hearing pressure cooker. You
yeah,
could probably easily switch those two and say you admired a professor or admired students that were working really hard. And you
yeah.
could say you were put under a pressure cooker where all these people were making great art. And so you had to make art, but you're not using the word pressure cooker for the art and you're not using the word admiration for engineering. Is that on purpose or?
Not on purpose, but I did a lot of thinking, and I definitely was aware of the parallels when I was a student, especially as a senior. And I guess I do like both. Engineering is art. In fact, if you look historically, engineers were considered artisans. It was a craft, throughout history. And I did love it. I wanted to be good at it, and I did. I completed my degree. But um, engineering as a field was going through so many changes with, for one, women entering the field, which people underestimate how big an impact that had, because engineering is such a mentor heavy field. But then on top of that, all of the sudden change to software, computers, even AI,
Mm.
the and then of course the legalization of engineering. Um, it it became it it became something different than I think it used to be, and that was changing as I was a student getting into the field. And I think, unfortunately, everyone in engineering I knew, my mentors, my fellow students, it was a lot, and I didn't see anyone happy. I didn't see anyone kind of getting
Mm.
that fulfillment. And when I was in the artist community, yeah, it was the same thing, very, very similar, but people were finding fulfillment, and
And in a good mood.
and in a good mood. It was for their career, but also just for themselves individually. And that, wow, that's intoxicating. You,
Watching people work extremely hard, working with
hmm,
failure, and not fake smiling,
yeah,
actual, like, "I'm so glad I'm here,
hmm,
hammering out this masterpiece that's not doing well,
yeah,
while a bunch of other people are around me doing the exact same thing, and we're all supporting each other to because there's it's not like, one thing I think about when it comes, as a difference between artistry and engineering, because I work with a lot of engineers.
yeah,
And I do see them work together too. There's like a
mhm,
team, a mechanical team, electrical team, comp sci, and there's this like I can see how they all have to interact and talk to each other, but
yeah,
it's like, hey, you go into this room and you're gonna stay here and you're gonna just be by yourself and focus. Here's your Adderall, get it done.
yeah,
And it's extremely focused
hmm,
because all you need it's weird, but I don't think it is. I see a lot of artistry in it too, but you can do pretty damn well with Google and now
hmm,
Google AI or like AI and
yeah,
just hammer out. that board layout, that
Yeah.
circuit board layout.
Mhm.
Figure out the right article to get the RX and TX for this UART connection to work. But
Yeah.
you can't be like, "Oh, I'm frustrated right now." You can't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta time. You have a time to do it. And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
for I guess it was strange because I was about to say with this, there is a timeline because you have to make the client happy.
Yeah.
And for your art class, I don't know if you really had to make the client happy. However, we weren't talking about your job. You weren't an engineer yet. You were a
Right.
student.
Mhm.
So you didn't really have any clients yet. In a weird
No.
way, you were the client. You were
Mhm.
paying the school money, and then you were paying this art person money. And $50 sounds kind of steep until you realize how much you're paying hourly for your education as an engineer.
Yeah.
But these
Mhm.
people are hazing you, calling you a loser. Well,
Yeah.
not calling you a loser. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating it, but I'm just saying that it's a lot more money. They will reward you with a they have some leverage on you where they can reward you with a 4-year degree. While
Yeah.
this other place is like, hey, your certificate is that painting that you've been working on.
Yeah.
When you're done, you're done.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I was surprised at how many certificates you gave yourself whenever I first met you.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. I was about to say, but also, you did want me to put up all your degrees because you got what 2 4-year degrees and a master's.
Yes.
So you had some paintings over there too.
I did, and I was very proud of them, and I really appreciated my education. I did. I just, it's one of those things where uh, you do so much introspection as an adult, and if you could go back, you'd change it all. But it was really great. It was a good experience. I like who it made me now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
art or the engineering.
Oh well, both,
Good.
and doing both at once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly, that's one of the things I forget sometimes how smart you are, because generally your job as a stay-at-home housewife is
Yes.
to do laundry
Hmm.
and to do dishes.
And clean up everyone's poop.
Yeah, well, not mine. Roman's shit.
I was thinking about Roman and the dogs, but yes.
I can take care of myself. But but no, really, that's what you do. And I was like, oh, I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, hey, let me do some dishes. Like, get your hands off my dishes. That's my job. I'm like,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
But it's because I think you're like you better value what I'm doing here
Yeah.
because yes, I could do it once or twice, but you're doing it every day.
Mhm.
Like you're the maintenance of this house.
Yeah.
And I think, for me, whenever I go to work, one of my favorite people at my work is this person named Daisy. And
Yeah.
she's like the lead. Uh, are you allowed to call them janitors now? But she's my favorite janitor. I love like she's one of my favorite people because she gets to work at what, 4 6 o'clock in the morning and
Mhm.
just cleans these buildings like with her crew,
Yeah.
of course. But she's everywhere.
Yeah.
She's this little Filipino lady, and she's always smiling, and she
Mm.
loves her life.
Yeah.
And I watch her, and I'm like, she's scrubbing the toilets, cleaning everything. She's still mopping and sweeping. She's like, she's quite old,
Mm.
but she's got this spring in her step because of
Yeah.
all that physical labor she's done. And I just mad props. If there's anyone I've seen with the most integrity
Mhm.
at my job, it's Daisy. It's
Yeah.
just she's gonna get the job done, and she's not gonna complain. She's not. She will once in a while, but the only reason why is because she's trying to get the job done for you.
Yeah. Well,
And
what's really admirable, and you can see it in people, is when someone uh makes their craft. It becomes special to them. They make it a craft. Because you can almost make anything in art. Um, and that's when you see that, and you can recognize it instantly. Uh, wow, that's amazing every time.
what I was talking about was just the fact that in a strange way, you're the janitor of the house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Well, I've
you're
worked very
weeding,
hard. I've worked very hard to become a good homemaker.
but that must have been so strange. Like going from engineering management to
Hmm.
I'm de-weeding my garden
Yes.
and like you must have felt as if you dropped in importance in this world. When for me, when I saw you do that, and I never saw you manage, so I was like, okay, you're doing that, you're
Yeah.
bringing in money. But when I see how much Roman's following you and
Mhm.
he's de-weeding or he's
Yeah.
helping you with the dishes or I watch him peeling the garlic so that he can
Yeah.
make that slow cooked meal in the oven.
Yeah.
And then whenever I watch both of you do art and like watching him just right beside you because just doing
Yeah.
art because that's what you do.
Yep.
So when he's around you, he's just, I didn't think I was going to trust a 4-year old with scissors, but you figured it out.
Yes.
You showed it to him.
Mhm.
And then I see some of your other students and they are, you know, they're
Artistic.
a little older and they cut themselves with scissors still. And I haven't seen him cut his
Yeah.
fingers yet.
Yeah.
I just know that you're a good teacher. And besides just doing the maintenance, like I'm I'm happy you chose artist over engineer because it, for me it's easier to see that you're a good mom or you're a
Thank
good
you.
parent. Like for me, it's I go to work and I
Mhm.
try to say to myself, um, okay, like I'm at
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
I'm a good dad because I'm here working.
Mhm.
But I was working before I was a dad. Was I a good dad? It,
Yeah.
it's
It's
it
that's
gets
really rough.
it gets rough. It gets
Yeah.
rough because if I was to be entirely honest about it, I'm not a good dad when I'm at work. I'm not a
Mhm.
bad dad. I'm not any dad.
Mhm.
And then when I get back home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, now I have to attempt to try to be a good dad. And I
Yeah.
only have 3 hours to do it before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And for me, when I see you, like my thoughts like, you better be a good mom because I want your job. But then I see it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, and you are a good one. You're
Yeah.
you're one of the good ones.
Thank you. It really matters a lot to hear that. And but I do know that what you're seeing is me constantly trying and constantly getting better. Um, because you it's always improvement. So an iteration and trying and never stopping. And I I really credit m- my art teacher and my engineering professors for instilling that you never stop learning, you never stop getting better. Uh, it's it's uh it's a craft forever, and thankfully, at least with children and being a mom, it's more obvious because your child, your baby, is constantly changing, and you better constantly change with them, or else you become a bad parent.
Yeah.
So, and that's not as obvious with education or with your career, but at least with a child, it's more obvious, and I that's very fulfilling. I like that, and that's another reason why I like teaching kids too. I love
Yeah.
watching them change and grow.
Speaking with like, what's the what's the whole thing with kids right now, and you
Yeah,
teaching them? You went from one art class, and now you're teaching two.
yeah, it's fun. That's my little my business, I guess. It started as a side gig.
Yeah. TNR with
Tea and art with
Felicia.
Felicia. Yeah, and I wanted to do that because as a child I loved tea parties, and I realized that the one thing I liked about art was the social part of it. It breaks the ice because art can be extremely intimidating. I think it's totally appropriate to compare art with math because the same hesitation and and frustration is there. They're almost the same. They're very strong emotions. So with the little kids, I wanted to do the tea party to kind of get them out of that frustration and take breaks when they need to. But yeah, that was the business I wanted to start when I became a stay-at-home mom, and I still wanted to have some sort of career. And I was like, okay, I'm an artist. I can teach art, which that's completely laughable. That's laughable.
Yeah. By the way, I've watched you fail hard when you first did the
Yes.
tea and art with Felicia, and now
Mhm.
you don't even serve tea anymore. And that's my
Charcuterie
fault.
boards. Charcuterie boards.
It's changed from meals to charcuterie boards,
And
and
apple juice.
yeah, I've been going to art events, and they always have a charcuterie board. I'm like, I know why you do this. You're not allowed to have meals when there's art to do.
Oh no, no, not unless you want the food to become art.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've been watching that, but I have watched you. I don't know if the right word's fail, but it's changed.
Yeah.
Like, what were you expecting when you taught, and what are you doing now?
Um that's a really tough question. I guess I expected to teach art because that's what I learned when I was in college. So brush strokes, mediums, techniques, and then from that, you find your own self-expression, and you don't do that with children. It's the opposite.
Straight to self-expression,
Yes, yeah,
and then them being
self-expression.
extremely upset because
They get
they
frustrated.
well, I've watched them. They're like, I have this idea in my head, and what I want is this to look like this. And then you
Yes.
give them some clay, and they're like, this looks awful. And then
Yeah.
they're so mad at
You see their little
themselves.
heart break.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I actually think it's like, whenever I think about raising a child, I'm like, pre having a kid, I was like, is to love them and make them feel special. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, it's really weird to say, but it's introducing them to misery, like the
Yeah.
correct way.
Yes, the correct way. And then when they're ready, when these kids are ready and willing to listen to you, because of course they see your art on the walls and they're like, oh, she knows something.
Yeah.
And then they ask you.
They have
The,
to ask
they
you.
have
You
to ask.
don't tell them.
Exactly. Then you can teach them something.
But I think that's all of all people. Like, imagine if you came to my art class and I said, I'm going to teach you all the techniques.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really need an art teacher anymore? You can go online and
Yeah,
there's
I can
all,
Google it.
but I don't look at that.
Mm-mm.
Most people don't Google how to paint,
No.
but you had someone who was a professional artist selling their
Mm-hmm.
art for thousands of dollars a painting,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw it and you knew why.
Yeah.
And so you wanted to ask them. There
It's
was,
true. And I feel like because I loved engineering. I loved engineering, but you go straight into college with saying you want a certain degree, and you don't have that. You don't have that. Uh, and I went searching for an art teacher and found one and listened to him. And sometimes I wish that I could go back to 18 and not go to college straight away. I wish almost that I had done something related to engineering, and then when I had questions and I wanted to, on a different level, then go to engineering school. But our society doesn't work that way, and that's rough because I feel like engineering historically was more like that, and I know it was, and man, they made some beautiful beautiful things.
yeah.
Yeah,
I get a little bit frustrated too with engineering because I see box after box after box being made nowadays.
yeah,
And then I'm like, what about that Sistine Chapel
yeah,
or, the Hanging Gardens? Or
yeah.
just, I see so many amazing pieces of art. In fact, sometimes I see the artwork from like just the abandoned buildings, and even them where they're like defunct, they're still
Yeah,
there. I'm like,
yeah,
man, you put so much work into this for
yeah.
it to stand the test of time. And I
Mhm.
look at the new buildings, I'm like, this is efficiency.
And
This
and
is
legality, so many codes, which,
yeah.
is
Watching stud spacings go from 12 inches to 20.
yeah, for monetary reasons.
Yeah.
It was rough, and that's why, you know, uh thank you. I was able to I I did leave. I did leave engineering, and I decided to become a mom and an artist, and I wouldn't have been able to do that
Well,
without you.
yeah. Well, you're welcome. I wanted you to be a mom. I wanted a baby too.
Yeah.
But what I I think one of the things that I'm starting to hear nowadays, I've never thought about this before, is that you actually didn't you never actually got to do any engineering during your whole stay of learning engineering and then getting a job,
Mhm.
because you went from engineering to almost immediately going into management. So you never
And
actually got to
paperwork, all of that, yeah.
you never actually got to make a building.
No, and
I never
that's
thought about it that way, but
yeah.
I think these kids have it right. Just, hey, here's some things, make it, then get frustrated because now you know what you want to make, but you don't have the skills, and
Yeah.
now ask someone for the skills.
Mhm.
But for me, I tried to be an engineer, and I made a, I made like a 3.8 for my first. I went for electrical engineering, made a 3.8, 3.7, and
Mhm.
then I quit
Yeah.
because, well, when I mean, I mentally checked out because I'm like, I've been doing I've been passing the test, getting the A's, learning, Euler's equation. I've been learning, like, I took
Mm.
physics too. Like, I'm doing all these things. Can I build something yet? Can I want to build while I'm doing this? Can I apply this?
Mhm.
And I just got so burnt out because I'd been making A's all the way until I finished high school.
Mhm.
Like, my GPA was above 100 because of, you GTA, that gifted and
Yeah.
talented thing. Then I went over to, yeah. Then I was just like, how long am I going to have to wait until I can prove I can do adult things? Not even that,
Yeah.
where I can just make a piece of art.
It's
And
true.
I think that's what frustrated me most of all. But, and then this is the crazy thing, I randomly landed into this one job thinking I was just going to do PCB design
Yeah.
or circuit board. Or no, no, not that. I was just gonna. I came into my current job as a technician. I still am,
Yeah.
but I was given this opportunity to start making circuit boards, and suddenly I was like, oh, now I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, and now I want to learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm currently on the path to becoming a dad, and I'm a husband, and now this thing's happening. If it would have just switched over, I would have wanted a 4-year degree. I would have enthusiastically done it.
Yeah.
I like I've learned that you can literally buy a PCB for, I don't know, $20.
Yeah.
Like a decent one, like a 4-layer one.
Yeah.
And I can make my own circuit boards. I can actually get, on KiCad.
Yeah.
There's a free software for me to make a circuit board. And then after that I can get to 3D printing.
Yeah.
Like, there's why didn't anyone tell me that? They just kept on telling me get the A's, but you just had to show me that there was a way for me to do the art version of engineering, and I
Mhm.
would have been totally on board. Now I'm looking at
Yeah.
Smith charts on my own. I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
in. And this isn't a and I think sometimes people at my work are like, "Ah, you're trying to be a wannabe engineer." And I'm like, "You don't understand.
Yeah.
It's I get it now. I am so excited."
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was an idiot. Turns out I just needed to see, like, this I needed to find something that actually piqued my interest to learn the things first. I just needed that.
Yeah.
And, I wish I cared about money more, because
Yeah.
then that would have
It's a
driven me,
great motivator.
but I'm not motivated by it that much.
I
I
don't
mean,
I don't think uh humans are. And I don't even blame the previous generation too much because we've gone through so much chaos and it hasn't ended. I almost feel a little heartbroken because I don't know if they they can fix the system right now because AI is coming on board and everything can be done with AI. Even art. It makes beautiful art. It can do so much engineering. It can just outdo us in every way. And so, you know, I I come to the thought of, well, what are you left with? What are you left with if um knowledge isn't needed anymore? If the because that's almost every profession it's going that way and people are very getting really cynical and depressed about it. And so I go back to who I admire, who I've been admiring, and it's these artists we've been meeting most recently. And they're these people who tell us that they have to do art. It doesn't matter what they're doing in their lives, with their stresses, what they're going through, they have to make art. And for me, that's so human. That's what makes us who we are. And I would like to do that. And that's why I want to stay an artist and I want to push this as far as I can go. Because that's what I see as like the best challenge that I can do in this modern era where
So,
everything can be AI.
so you care about getting into the most challenging thing you can get into?
The most fulfilling, well, the most human.
Oh, gotcha. It
Yeah.
almost reminds me of I was talking about this earlier with you, but I was looking at Steve Jobs and
Mhm.
how he's an asshole and
Yeah.
why. And there was this thing that he could do, and apparently Elon Musk does it even better, is that he's good with the signal noise ratio when it comes to getting work done. Where
Mhm.
there's the signal is all the things that are required to make a job successful, while all the things underneath it is noise.
Mhm.
And so you need to care about these. You wake up 18 hours in your day before you go back to sleep. You sleep 6 hours, and you better if you're going to be someone at the top, and you're aggressive and you're a fighter and you win. If you want to win, these are the things so people can recognize you as winning.
Yeah.
And in Steve Jobs thing, it was about making this culture for being the top dog
Yeah.
because he didn't want to be around losers. If you don't want to be a loser, you got to do these 6 things. But what's in that noise? And I think he said they were talking about how he had a noise, a signal to noise ratio of 80% signal, 20% noise, which
Mhm.
was really damn good. And apparently Elon Musk has 100%. I'm just, I don't know where these percentages come from. I just heard it online.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking about that and I was like, yeah, but
Oh.
what's up? Well, your scissors are
Oh.
right there.
Well, Roman, I was organizing a bit earlier today, and I found some scissors that we got a while ago, which are super exciting. They're the crisscross scissors. So I brought them down, and you have to earn them. But I think Roman has.
Yeah.
High
By
five.
the
You want to
way,
try
you've
the
done
new
a good job
scissors?
being patient. You're awesome.
Yeah.
How awesome are you? Yeah. All right. Why don't you go
Let
get
me
him
go
his
get the special
scissors?
scissors. It's right here.
Yeah, but I'll finish my thoughts while you find those scissors for him. But the way I actually saw it was, what's in that noise? And for me being a dad right now, that noise is spending time with Roman.
Yeah.
And that time is de-weeding stuff in my garden. Like I could hire some person to do that for me, but
Right.
that noise that they consider noise for me is the signal.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
for me, what do I want to accomplish? Like I'm not
Right.
trying to become the best fighter.
Yeah.
There's something about trying to be the best referee or the best cleanup crew for the UFC or
Yeah.
I'm thinking in terms of that. And I have to ask myself, was hugging his child like how was that noise for him? I don't know. I literally have no idea.
It,
I'm not assuming he
it's
did or
yeah.
didn't. But
It's unique to every person, and that's deciding who you want to be.
yeah,
Like your success, your humanity. Um, and yeah, I agree with you. My success, I decided was being a wife and a mom and the best, very best I could be. Um, and you just have to decide what you want to be the signal and what you want to be the noise, and then balance it because you have to balance it.
yeah. Whether or not I actually want to have a 80 80 signal,
Yeah,
20 noise. I actually think I enjoy rather it fluctuating as I age.
yeah.
Where whenever I was younger, I think it would have been better.
Ooh, careful.
I had a high
Good boy.
80-20%. Do you like it? Awesome. Yeah, so cool.
Ooh.
I'm gonna keep talking to mom, and then once we're done, we're gonna play with your scissors a whole lot more. But you play with them first, okay? Deal? Thank you. What was I saying?
Well, that signal and noise actually fluctuates over time too, which, I mean, what's more human than that? Your life changes over time. It's wonderful.
Well, and that's the thing is I think if you have that 80-20%, I don't think you actually change that much. I don't know. I've never done the 80% signal. I've usually done around at max maybe 60-40,
Mhm. Yeah.
where I'm like, there's one thing I need to spend 60% of my day doing.
Yeah.
But I think what's important about the noise is that's where you find culture and that's where you find community.
Yes. Yeah.
You can, because that's the thing is like, in the end, wasn't Steve Jobs just trying to find the most influential people and be influential over them? So he's
Mhm.
like, that whole like standing on the top of the mountain alone. I don't
Yeah.
think you can really find, like what's going to happen to Roman if I was in the 80-20.
Mm.
I'd probably get extremely filthy rich because I
Well,
know
that's the thing. What do you want to be? Because, like, if you want to be very wealthy, very rich, then you do need to change
do the
your.
80-20.
You do need to do that or more. So it just depends, and a lot of people don't think about it enough. Uh, who
I didn't at least.
who do you want to be?
Yeah. I guess for me, it was this idea whenever I was getting older that be 80-20, and then when you have a ton of money, now find your
Yeah.
wife and then have a kid. And because now you have this varied amount of skill sets, this certain amount of power and influence to where now you're the boss.
Yeah.
And now no one can take that away from you.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem that I was running into was when I was
Careful,
realizing there was a lot
not
of
toys.
bosses who weren't that happy. And when I
Yeah.
was looking for extremely happy people, generally it was artists.
Yeah.
These people who they went to work to support this noise.
Yeah.
But they weren't lazily doing it. I saw them
You
constantly
can't be.
working at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brought me a lot of fear when you first started teaching your class
Yeah.
because you were burnt out. So I saw you, I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, pay attention to the noise." Then I came home and you were just snoring away for like half the day and I was like, "Ooh, you've been through it. You
Yeah.
did way too much for way too long." So I was like, "Okay, but you need to work out, stop eating cake all day to, deal with all your stresses and find healthy
Yes.
ways to deal with your stresses." And
Yeah. Because I wasn't taught how to do any of that. I went 80/20 my whole life. And of course, the 80 was academics, really high academics. So, of course, I was burnt out. And it wasn't just me. Gosh, everyone was like that.
Mhm.
And I think that's why so many skills were lost. Just, uh, and
Do you think
I,
skills were lost? Like what?
so many skills. Oh well, uh, I'll just talk about the ones I missed,
Of course.
which are um uh, your own laundry, cleaning your house, gardening, sewing, pet care. How do you love a pet? You know how to take care of the pet?
I remember. Now I remember. I was the one who taught you how to like, hey, this is how you take care of a dog and keep them
Yes.
clean and brush their teeth. And you're like, you brush your dog's teeth? I was like, you want to keep them around for a while and in the house.
Yeah.
Keep them in the house.
Yeah.
It's like, of course we have a Chihuahua. They're not going to survive out there.
The eagle's gonna come get it. Yeah, no, it's oh,
Hey Roman,
careful, that's not a toy,
don't go
only
crazy.
paper. But and of course I'm embarrassed to admit that I barely had I needed
Well, and
to
that's what
get way better at those
I
skills.
wouldn't be embarrassed. Like you were just saying, you're doing 80-20. Do you think Steve Jobs did his laundry? No.
Mm, yeah,
But once you settle down into like, because you wanted to stay at home.
I did.
And so why didn't you do the 80-20 and you worked a job hard, then you came home and then you took care of Roman.
Mm,
But in the meantime, like why didn't you hire you could have worked a job. You could have hired a cleaner and a
Totally,
landscaper. Why didn't you
totally.
do that path?
Because I didn't want that. I didn't want to be that. I,
But
you know,
why? I'm
I
just
just,
I'm literally curious.
oh, I, I just knew. It's that sounds so cliche, but to some extent, from a very young age, you know who you are and what you want, and your environment then tries to tell you who you are and what you want. But I, from my earliest memory, I always wanted to be a mom. I always
Mm.
wanted to be married. I wanted to have, I wanted to cook good and people to like my cooking. I wanted to have a beautiful house and it to be my house, not a cleaner's or
And you
a
wanted a weed?
gardener,
Oh, I see what you're
you
saying.
know?
Almost as if they're taking care of your house, they own
Yeah,
it.
then it's theirs. It's not my garden if
Mm.
someone else weeds it. It's not my food if someone else cooks it. It's not my child if someone else raises them. So, like, I wanted all of those things, and then I grew up, and I still wanted them, and it was heartbreaking to realize, oh my goodness, oh no, so good at math, so bad at this,
Oh,
you
like the
know?
thing you knew you wanted to be, like you, but you chose engineering.
So, and this is a little sad. Um, yeah, I chose engineering because civil engineering because I wanted to build a home. I wanted to build a home, and growing up. Excuse me. I'll let me change
You're fine.
my tone here. I wanted to build a home, and society told me, and this was everyone. This was everyone, family, friends, teachers. Um, they told me that was very. They actually told me that was risky. They told me that was too risky, and I needed to choose a safer path. And then, so what is the career for building a home? Is actually building a house. Building a house, and so I went into civil engineering.
Well, you built a home now.
Yeah, I did, but I almost didn't.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
you painted these walls,
I did paint these walls, and I loved it,
and
but
also
it
you.
was it was very close where that wouldn't have happened because I thought about it too late. I started thinking I started thinking about that too late, and you hit. I love you. I love you so much. Oh, I'm just nothing. It's I'm good. I'm good. Uh, but I hit 30. I hit 30, and then I realized, oh my goodness, I'm making boxes. I'm making boxes, and not homes.
Mm, that's when you wanted
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's a
You
good way
can't
of
cut that.
thinking about it. Well,
Yeah.
not even that you're building like a home, like, and that's when I look at your paintings. That's one of my favorite parts about you being an artist is that it's not paintings that I bought over at IKEA that look
Yeah.
neat and are printed. It's not something that I bought from an online ad store that be like, this looks like something that is this is me. And someone else made it, but they made it for me.
Yeah.
This is like I don't have to do that. I come
Mhm.
home and I'm like, there's a giant snail painting now. My
Pink. Pink snail.
I I like when I see that painting of your snail, the pink one, I'm like, that's you now.
Yep.
Slow and steady
And very pink.
and very pink.
Yes.
And and honestly, one of my favorite parts is whenever I see a new painting of yours. I'm like, I don't. I ask you how your day is, but I don't have to ask you your mood. Like I
Yeah.
remember when we first got married, you started painting like paintings of a little baby animal being hugged by its mom, and I'm like, all right, I know what you're after now. This
Yeah.
is thank you paintings. This is super easy.
Yep. Yes, honey. Hmm. What are you doing? What are these? What is this?
So cool.
It looks like noodles.
Do you want to make noodles later, Roman?
Ooh.
He's concentrating.
Yes. Nom, nom, nom. That is not a noodle.
Is it paper?
That is purple paper.
Yeah, like what I was
Yeah.
saying was,
What is this?
see, you got a home now.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but like you had these paintings.
Oh yeah.
But then after that, I was like, you're now painting plants.
Yes.
So I said, okay, time to make a garden.
Yeah.
I see what's on your mind right now.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was hilarious when you had that the octopus that's right behind you,
Yes.
and you're like, I need this masterpiece out. And then I realized I was like, I think that's your old masterpiece.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I was realizing at that point you were changing the way you did art.
Mhm. Oh my gosh.
All right.
And again and
again and
again.
again.
I think my little timer is going off.
He is going off right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Roman, could I talk to Mom a little bit longer about our art class? I know, but can you do me a favor? And then after that, we can spend the rest of the time with you. What's not fair about it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes, and then we'll go have fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have fun. Good job.
He's the best.
Yeah, my art style is changing, which is great. In fact, artists change their style multiple times over their lifetimes. That's why famous ones, people love buying from certain periods of their life, like Picasso's famous blue era. So yeah, I don't. I guess I just mean to say I don't mind my art style changing.
Yeah, I don't mind your art style changing. In fact, I'm so excited now
Yeah.
because I think now that you've really pushed yourself to start, like now you're working out
Yeah.
with your son, you've
Yeah.
taken like your chores like extremely seriously. Like I'm gonna make this garden look immaculate, and when I come home, because when we started this
Yeah.
podcast, you had so much time to overlap, but I'm like, hey, I only have 3 hours. And even
Right.
now, this is what I'm sad about is that he wants to spend time with us, and I don't want him
Yeah.
to feel like
can't.
I don't want to punish him for wanting to hang out with us, but I still want to do this
Right.
because like just now, like I went over to my job and I was talking to someone about, hey, I'm starting a podcast. This is what it's
Yeah.
about. How easily they're like, and this person who I almost never talked to was talking about their someone they're related to, who
Yeah.
they paint retablos. And what a
Oh.
retablo is it's a Mexican sort of not religious necessarily, but it can be religious. It actually comes from European descent over in whatchamacallit, over from I think it's from Catholic Church. I think it's from Catholic Church. But basically those big vistas of the Virgin Mary and
Oh
stuff around.
yes.
Anyways, a retablo is a handheld portable version of that.
Oh.
So then what you can do is that it's usually painted on wood
Mhm.
or tin. And I was looking at this person's art, and the reason why I think they brought it up to me was because I was talking about how you were like how you're Native American
Yeah.
and how I watch your paintings evolve, but a lot of them are very nature focused, and how you switched your not your medium from like acrylic to somewhere else, but canvas to birdhouse gourds.
Yeah.
And they brought up their this painter that they're related to, and I'm like, and then I saw retablos. I was like, I do woodworking. I
Yeah.
could paint you a canvas, and you could put them across here.
Yes.
And now I get it.
Yeah.
I understand like sort of like the symbolic part of it. But old me, and like old me who just was that 80-20 or 60-40, because that's the best I could do, wouldn't have even looked at a retablo.
Yeah.
But now I think it's called a retablo. Maybe it's called retablo because it's
Yeah.
it's Mexican descent. But it's just so neat. In fact,
It
the
is.
person who painted it, I actually want to interview them. They did a retablo of COVID, and it was so
Oh,
neat. It was them painting this. It was a picture of the United States, and it was circles of blue and red, and then these like tears almost coming down from the entire United States.
yeah,
And it was a symbolic thing of people who had COVID. And I think it was trying to say Democrats and Republicans, like alike. All of us
yeah.
were affected by this,
Suffering.
and we all cried.
Yeah,
And focus on that. And I really like that. I was like, this is something. This is a thing you carry around. It's this visual historian guide where if I saw that, if someone saw it like 50 years from now, they'd be like, whatever. Not too loud.
not. Hold on. Hold
Remember
on,
you promised
sweetie.
us 5 minutes? I don't want you to be mad at me. Thank you so much. So we're almost done.
Yeah,
But yeah, I wanted to show it to you. And the idea is
yes,
that, I get free wood all the time.
yeah,
But besides just getting free wood, I was thinking about brush pickup.
yeah,
This idea now of getting a piece of wood and cutting it up and
yeah,
knowing it's wood that's come from around locally and
yeah.
painting on that.
Making it really
I
special.
wanted to talk to you about it a little bit later, but this is my favorite part about coming home is knowing that
Yeah,
I'll be able to see the paintings that not only you've made, but because you had so many artistic connections, and the fact that we somehow keep on getting paintings for free
yeah,
because of how many people. Because I think it's a mixture of just how nice of a person you are and how kind you are, but then also just artists just naturally being so giving.
yeah,
And I'd been looking for a community for so long, and I thought I had to like buy my way in, like or tithe my way in, or get hazed into something.
mhm,
And then I
yeah,
realized you just have to work hard. You have to
yeah,
work hard on things you're inspired by,
mhm,
and inspiration comes from interacting with the noise.
yeah, yeah,
And that's a weird way to look at it, but I think ever since I've seen your journey from engineer over to an art teacher who sells art,
yeah,
it's so easy to see someone go from I appreciate the signal, but I choose noise.
yeah.
And really, you really inspire me.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a little bit later on, we might talk, like have a round two. But right
Yes.
now, we're starting this all out. Roman's
Yes.
still not used to this, and I don't
That's
want him
right.
to hate us.
Yeah. And we now have our noodle scissors, so we need to
Which you found for
play
him.
that.
And then,
Yeah.
so
That was
thank you.
super fun.
Yeah, but thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. Yeah, this was fun. Amazing.
If you're located in San Antonio, Texas, and would like your child to participate in TNArt with Felisha Novan, feel free to email her at tnartwithfelicia@gmail.com or message her on Facebook at tnartwithfelicia. She's currently teaching her teenage class Sundays from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., 5 to 12-year-old class Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and starting her homeschool class Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Take care and remember to work with art.